Canadians, and indeed people around the world, are avoiding non-essential travel right now. They're staying at home, avoiding contact with friends, family even. They've suspended their lives in the strongest sense of those words. You see, they're compassionate. And the last thing they want to do is spread the Wuhan coronavirus to the vulnerable population, elderly people, and people who you wouldn't realize were in the vulnerable population, people with compromised immune systems or respiratory systems. These people are compassionate, and they're doing the reasonable thing, listening to government authorities, telling them to stay home. This, of course, quickly stops with the radical Indigenous youth activists who are hell-bent on stopping the Coastal GasLink pipeline in northern BC. The Coastal GasLink pipeline will take natural gas to the port in Western Canada, where it will be shipped to markets across the Pacific. It is the one lifeline that the Canadian energy industry has right now, because of course we can't trust Justin Trudeau to continue construction with Trans Mountain. We're pretty much relying on Coastal GasLink to save thousands upon thousands of jobs. But these radical Indigenous activists, they are going to stop it, no matter global circumstance. They're going to do what they can to stop construction. So they're sending a band of radical Indigenous activists up to the northern BC work camp to get really close quarters with them. We're not sure why, of course. Here's the tweet. Hello, friends. A delegation of Indigenous youth are traveling to Wet'suwet'en territories in the next week to monitor the man camps constructing the pipeline, but they're in need of supplies in thread. If you're able to contribute, we would greatly appreciate it. Now, they've planned a glamorous camping trip to get really close quarters with the people working on the Coastal GasLink worksite. Now, why are they doing this? Why are they ignoring provincial recommendations and federal recommendations to stay home? Why are they putting people at risk? The elderly people in the communities there at risk even. I found a fixed tweet for that. Hello, friends. A delegation of Indigenous youth are traveling to Wet'suwet'en territories in the next week to infect this community with COVID-19, to kill off their elders, because we really don't care about them, but we desperately need self-validation and selfies. These radical environmental activists are putting lives at risk, all to stop the most environmentally conscientious pipeline that has ever been built in Canada. I've been there myself. I've seen what they're doing. They've told me they'd be fired if they even left a gum wrapper on the ground. This pipeline is going to transport natural gas to the west coast in BC, and that gas will be shipped to markets across the Pacific Ocean. It is the last lifeline that Canadians have in the energy industry. It will save thousands upon thousands of jobs at a time when millions of Canadians are going to be on unemployment insurance in the coming months. This pipeline is a national necessity, but for some reason, these glamorous campers are going up to northern BC to stop it. Now I'm going to read through their list, their Amazon wish list, if you will, so you can see exactly what these folks want on their glamour trip up to northern BC. First off, they want a remote mobile internet setup. Of course, these radical activists don't want to miss their next episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, so they want you to pay for their satellite TV. Next up is cell phone boosters, because the last thing you'd want to do on a trip like this is to go through all of this work and not be able to post your selfies to Instagram so that you can get the approval of Greta Thunberg. That would be just awful. Third, they want HD video cameras, plural. Ideally, they want 2 of similar make. Now, don't send any of that second-rate trash from Value Village. They want that 4K Sony stuff. 2 of the same kind. Give us double. Fourth, on top of those 2 extremely expensive 4K cameras that they want, they also want a DSLR. Oh, and you better provide the lenses and all the equipment to go with it, the batteries too. Now, when I was up in northern BC, I was up there quite a few times. When I travel anywhere to Stockholm, Sweden, to chat with Greta Thunberg herself, the only camera I use for my reporting is a cell phone. That's the only camera I use. And these folks, of course, they want that on top of all of the other cameras that they're asking for. Number 6, they want portable battery banks. They want portable solar panels. Of course, their number one priority right now is to stay green. They don't want to hurt the environment. They're protesting a pipeline after all. But wait, I'm confused. Number 7, a small generator? That's not very green. Number 8, they want video editing laptops, external hard drives, etc., etc. Gimme, gimme, gimme. These people are completely unprepared. They don't even have the basics to do what they're planning on doing. Not that their goals are very clear at all. Number 9, VHF radios. Number 10, GPS, spot, inReach, handheld devices. because apparently they don't realize that GPS works perfectly on phones, even outside of cell reception. Number 11, drones, plural. This is a camping trip after all. It's all for fun. They want to play around. 12, body cams, dash cams. 13, flashlights, lanterns. Make sure they're the heavy-duty kind. Number 14, large, high-quality handsaws. None of that low-quality garbage. Only the best for these activists who are putting the lives of people on the line so that they can post selfies to Instagram. Now, on top of the high-quality handsaws, they also want high-quality hatchets. And 16, large first aid kits. And 17, wall tents plus camp gear, sleeping bags, thermorests, coolers, dry bags, dry boxes, water storage. And last but not least, money, funds. They want your cold, hard cash at a time when Canadians are applying for unemployment insurance in record numbers. They want your money so that they can go on a glamorous camping trip up to northern BC so that they can take selfies, send them home, and post them to Instagram and get the approval of Greta Thunberg. They want everything. They want you to pay for a glamorous camping trip so that they can put the lives of the people in the community on the line. The elderly population in northern BC is quite large. The elderly population in those Indigenous areas are quite large. The risk posed to their lives if they contract COVID-19, the Wuhan coronavirus, is substantial. These radical Indigenous activists care more about selfies, photo ops, and radical activism than they do about people's lives. That applies now just as much as it applied months ago before this crisis hit. They want people to freeze in the dark. They want people not to be able to get to work. They are working to make sure people die. Whether they know it or not, they are risking people's lives because they're greedy and because they're selfish. And the rules just don't apply to them. For Rebel News, I'm Cian Bechstein. We're doing a lot of work to cover the misinformation and disinformation around the fake First Nation in northern BC, also known as the Office of the Wet'suwet'en. You can go to fakefirstnation.com to see all of our coverage regarding this story. And if you want to help out Rebel News generally, go to helprebelnews.com.